What if what if the person you're expecting to lead you into battle doesn't show up? Well, what if the person who's supposed to bring the next innovation or the cure for cancer or the newest form of ideologies and philosophies and psychologies, what if the newest discovery in brain science or health or overcoming the odds, what if that person who has all the answers that you're seeking never shows up? What if you're standing there waiting for life to deliver to you the answers that you're looking for, the gumption to go forward? Well, what if you've already got that passion in you, but there's nobody surrounding you to do the thing that you feel like there's nothing else you can do? Like, this is what you're called to. This is what you're made for, but you're the only one ready to do it, and there's nobody else to help. What do you do then? I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and it is pretty fascinating to me how many people get stuck in that mode of, well, I'm just waiting for help, or I'm waiting for someone to come alongside me, or I'm waiting for the right education or the right knowledge. They're just waiting. Paul Martinelli, one of my mentors, says, sometimes you just got to jump and grow your wings on the way down. But there are a lot of things in this world that the waiting is waiting on synergy, or it's waiting on leadership, or it's waiting on someone else who has the same passion that you have. And I'm discovering, even in my own journey, both in leadership and in just the callings that I have in my life, that that's not always the case, that there's someone else coming behind you, that you're just waiting for someone else to show up before you get started. Sometimes the one that you're waiting on is you. It dawned on me the other day that when you look at people who are actual doers, people who get things done, people who charge into the moment, even if it's all risk and no guarantee of reward at all, even if the chances of losing everything are high, but the reward is unknown. These are people who charge in. These are usually people who are very passionate and very action-oriented, and they will get the job done one way or another. You know what I find about people like that? It's very rare that charge forward, passionate, innovative leader is waiting for somebody else. In fact, they don't flock together very well at all. What I do find, though, is that passionate people who are absolutely sold out to an idea, a concept, an activity, an innovation, they charge forward even if they're alone. They charge forward no matter who comes around them. They're not waiting for synergy. They're not waiting for someone else's energy. They're not waiting for someone else's resources. They're going to bootstrap it, and they're going to do what they have to do to get it done now. Now, that's a challenge for many of us, because what we want to believe is that there's somebody coming alongside us to help fight the battle. There's someone else who's got our back in this. There's someone else who's just as passionate about this idea, concept, or project as we are. And often, that's not true. Now, what will happen is that when you begin to charge forward as the leader, others will gather around you. Others will see you taking that lead and go, I got to be a part of this. That's a very common thing. But it's not real common that the person leading the charge will find 5 other people just like them ready to lead the charge. One of the hardest things that I've struggled with is some of the calling that I have in my life, some of the projects that I believe are assigned from on high, if you will, are projects that other people look at and go, I don't get it. I don't get it. And if I waited for people to get it, or I waited for people to agree, or I waited for people to step up and go, I'm all in, then many of the projects that I have accomplished in my life would never have been accomplished. One minor example of that is this obnoxious trailer that we have. It's a DJ trailer that we pull behind our vehicle, and the side of it drops down into a stage. Well, when I built it, the only ones that were around belonged to the big mega companies, and it would cost you $10,000 to rent it for the day, and nobody could get one just for a small private backyard party or a party at the school. You couldn't get them, and so I built one, and I built a small one that could pull right up in the driveway or back into a parking space and be used almost anywhere. In about 15 minutes time from the time it arrives, we can actually have an event going on for several thousand people. We've done it. We've done it. But if I'd waited for everyone to come around me and go, that's a brilliant idea, let me invest in it, it probably would have never happened. No, I had one crazy friend who looked at me, and we argued a lot about it. He's like, well, what if you did this? No, it doesn't do what I wanted to do. What if you did this? That'd be easier, it'd be cheaper, but we still won't do what I wanted to do. What if you... And we went round and round about some of those things, but the truth of the matter is, he dug in with me. He invested time, he invested money, he invested hours and hours and hours, and his skill and his talent and his pushback until we got the project done. And now we've had it on the street doing what it does for 10 years. Well, the newest project is the Story Power TV project, and that's the stage that's actually installed on the back of our E350 van that we can deploy just about anywhere in about 5 minutes. It's a very similar concept, but faster to set up, less time required to get off the ground and out of the place, and so we can hit multiple places in one day if we wanted to do multiple parties or speeches or whatever else. And that's exactly what it was designed for. And again, if I had waited for other people to go, ooh, I'm in, that's a great idea, nothing would have happened. But we've invested thousands in making this project happen, and now it's coming to fruition. And now the next step of that is the gumption that it's going to take to go out there and just set up free will and do these live speaking events where either I'm speaking or I'm inviting somebody else to just take the stage and share your First Amendment right to speak your mind. And that has me a little bit trepidatious, to be honest with you. I was surprised when I heard an interview between Lewis Howell and Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone had just signed a $90 million deal. And Lewis Howell asked him, what's your number one factor holding you back? And Grant Cardone, without any hesitation, said, courage. He said, what do you mean? I mean, you're like the boldest guy I know. He said, but I could be doing more if I applied courage. If I had the courage, I could be doing more than I could. Well, I've been waiting for people to hire me to bring the stage out, and I've been waiting for people to pay me to bring it out, which is a good business model, getting money to do things instead of just spending money. It's actually a pretty good idea, and it's worked so far. But I still believe there are opportunities for free speech, First Amendment right speeches to be given all over the country. And I need to be the one taking the lead to do it. So let me ask you, what is the ideal? What is the passion? What is the calling? What is it that's in your life right now that you look at and go, man, I wish somebody would do that? What are the odds that the person who's supposed to be leading that charge is not someone you're waiting on, but it's you? What are the odds that you're the leader you're looking for? What calling, what passion, what ideas do you have burning inside of you, rumbling up inside of you, steaming from inside your mind that you just can't let go of, but you also can't find a team of people already doing it to join? I mean, that might be the sign that you're the one that's supposed to be leading this charge, not waiting for somebody else to do it. Now, I know one of the challenges that we all face is how is it that we learn to fight? Because we're not talking about violence necessarily. We're talking about an opportunity to express yourself, to share ideas, to let these ideas grow. TEDx, TED Talks. It was a great idea whose time had come to give people a platform to speak. But if you've noticed, it's a little hard to get on the TEDx stage. There's an application process and an approval process. And if you're not talking about the right things, chances that you'll get approved are pretty slim. That's not First Amendment. I mean, it is a great speaking opportunity, but it's not the First Amendment. The First Amendment is tell your piece. So over the next coming weeks, I'm going to be talking about ways that you, in your daily life, can charge forward, can do some things to make an impact, how you can begin to fight for the ideas that you hold valuable. Some of those are new ideas. Some of those are traditional ideas that have lost their place, if you will, and they need to be restored. It's totally up to you. But how will you fight? I think there's some tactics that we can put in place, and over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about those. I want to leave you with that question today, though. Is there a chance that you are the leader you're waiting for? And if there's a chance that you are the leader you're waiting for, let me also ask you this. Are there followers waiting to jump in with you the minute you begin to lead. You may look at the landscape right now and think, I'm surrounded by nobody, I'm going to be doing this all on my own. Well, for now, you might be. But it might be that very soon you'll be surrounded by people who are going, I got to get in on that because you're leading the way. Take the chance. Jump. Grow your wings on the way down. Maybe you are the leader that you've been waiting for. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. P.S. This has been a very clumsy podcast today because our Frontier wireless internet and even our Frontier LAN here in the house isn't working today. And so I've got a makeshift bundle of wireless connections and wireless modems and my cell phone. And it's amazing how many things sit in the cloud that you just count on every day with that high-speed internet access that when you don't have high speed or you don't have internet access, you don't have access to the tools that you use every day. Imagine an EMP or a solar flare or a gamma explosion that caused all of your internet and electricity to go away tomorrow. How then would you lead? How then would you connect? How then would you communicate with the people most important to you? Just something you might